Wycliffe Bible translators also, they use this technology for their advantage to get the gospel out, because if you go back to, I think it's in Genesis, where the Tower of Babel is this story where these guys, not just men, but these people created this tower to get to heaven. And God was like, hey, I don't like this, so I'm going to destroy this, and I'm going to confuse your language. And so since then, we have been trying to translate the Bible into many different languages so that the entire world can know about Christ. And they say that when every person and every tongue and every nation has the Bible and knows who Jesus Christ is, then the Messiah will come back. And I'm not saying that is the exact thing that will happen and like exactly what they believe, but that makes a lot of sense. That like, hey, we need to get this Bible out of America and into the entire world. And the Bible didn't just originate in America; it originated in Israel, and so that makes a lot of sense why we need to get this Bible out, because if no one knows about Jesus Christ, then who's going to be saved? And it is our it is our duty to get this word out. And Wycliffe Bible translators are doing a great job by doing this, and they're saying that by the year 2011 or 2012 that they will have the Bible translated in every single language. And that is a huge task to do, because first of all, it takes like 5 years to translate the entire Bible into a language that you first of all never knew 5 years ago. That's not work. But technology is awesome because of that reason. Technology makes our lives easier in many ways, in good and bad, I guess you would say. In the good way is we can transfer information so much faster than we used to be able to before, because before technology, I don't even say before technology, like before we even had this whole mail system like formulated, it would take a long dang time to get a letter from here to California, from New York City to California. And now it takes me less than a second to get information from New York City to California, let alone from New York City to China. It's like that, and that's awesome. Like, world news can get spread so much faster. We can know what's going on in Europe in a split second because of technology. Before, like I said, it took forever. Well, in our minds, forever. And also, technology, like I had said earlier, has ruined the crap out of us, because we have become so reliant on technology that we have, in a sense, dumbed ourselves down to let the technology do the thinking for us and let the technology do the feeling for us. We have lost that feeling. We have lost that connection with one another as human beings to each other because of technology. We're losing this concept of storing things in our heads and then sharing that moment. And that made a lot of sense, because the other day I was taking pictures with my cell phone, and I was just like, man, this is awesome. I get to have these pictures forever. But really not forever, because when that phone breaks, I then never have it forever. Or if that technology ever fails, I don't have it forever. But if I store it in my mind, I will always have this picture in my mind. And I will always be able to share it in my mind. And I don't want to get super theological here. Theology is awesome, but I don't want I don't like speaking theology when I'm trying to be very basic. But, yeah, technology has done so many great things for us. I guess that's where I'm going to conclude with, is that technology is good and bad. Just like Adam and Eve wanted to gain the knowledge of good and evil, and we wanted to gain the knowledge of good and bad technology. And no, I don't want to say that. Just like Adam and Eve, we want to gain the knowledge of good and evil. And so, kind of stuck in a place, I don't want to say stuck, but like, we kind of have to use technology to do the things that we do in everyday life. I don't think that's wrong. I don't think God is like, you're going to go to hell because of that, because we use technology. Like, technology is great. And let me give you another analogy about how we so much rely on technology, because in one of the classes that Dr. Williams was teaching in, remember those old projectors that we used to have? I had these when I was in high school. They still have them here at PBU, like very, very, very rarely, because we're big on technology here. Well, we try to be big on technology. And the overhead projectors, they used to have a piece of paper that was clear, and you used to lay it down, and it projected the image onto a screen. And professors and teachers used to love these because they could put their notes on there without having to write on the board. And so they would put that clear sheet of paper on the projector that the projector would project the image through, and then they put a piece of paper on top that would not let the image go through. And Dr. Williams put this on the projector and then put the piece of paper on top. And it said the 5 most important aspects of teaching. And he went on and started teaching. And he would go up to the projector every so often, and he would put his hand on the piece of paper to slide it down and to reveal the notes. And at that moment, everybody would go, oh my gosh, I need to write this down. And so like they would get their pens and pencils ready to write this down. And then Dr. Williams would casually walk away and go back. And he did this many times in his lecture. And this one girl got fed up. And she goes, Dr. Williams, can you please let us see the notes underneath the projector slide? And everybody goes, yeah. And Dr. Williams goes, sure. And so everybody's like, oh my gosh, I need to get this down. And so like they're so content on writing down the notes that they forgot what he was doing. And in that instant, Dr. Williams took this piece of paper and he slid it away. And after he slid it away, there was nothing. There was nothing underneath the piece of paper. And these students are sitting there like, oh my gosh, I'm a stupid Pavlov dog, where I am so succumbed to wanting to get this information that I am distracted from what Dr. Williams is saying. I probably did not word that right, but we're so psychologically trained that when we have notes in front of us, that we are so dead to ourselves that we need to write down what is on that screen. And so we forget what the professor is exactly saying. So are we, in a sense, learning from the professor, or are we learning from our notes? And I'm just like, man, I'm wasting all this money by writing down notes from a screen that I could write down in my dorm room, where, in a sense, I should be listening to my professor. I hope that you guys understand this. I'm still trying to understand this and trying to figure this out. Well, I probably won't ever figure this out, but I just want to grasp the concept of...
It's 8 o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock, yes. And technology. It's good. And it's bad. But where do we draw the line? Where do we draw this line as Christians in our world of technology? Where do we draw this line?